Hey y'all, I am restarting this video because my family is being super loud and my brain is so mushy right now. I'm trying so hard to stay focused and to show y'all things. So I'm going to start over and try to remember exactly how I did this last time because it's foggy. I want to show y'all how I do these florals. And this is like a very abstract approach for me, the way that I do them. What I want you to do is I want you to think about a flower that you love, that makes you super happy. And like I know like a lot of people are like, oh, all flowers make me happy. For me, peonies, I think that's how I say peonies. It's probably not correct. I think I've heard it say peonies before. That sounds too much like panties for me, but so I'm going to say peonies. Okay. So that's how I say it. But these peony flowers are some of my favorite flowers, and I love that to be like the main star of my painting. And then I have other ones that I like that are kind of backup, like, you know, what do they call it? A supporting role, supporting role flower. So these are the elements that I have. I have a main star. I have a supporting role flower too, right here. I've got the foliage, which is the leaves and things like that. And then some of the branches and stuff. And then I have like fillers. So these little things are fillers. These little dangly things are fillers. I was calling them dingleberries, but it made me think of poop. And my Julia said, oh, call them dangly things. And I'm like, okay, dangly things. So maybe I won't call them dingleberries anymore. So that's what we're going to do. When you pick out your flowers, I go to Instagram. Like obviously you might not have these flowers available to you like right away. So I go to Instagram to find all my floral inspiration, and you can actually look up different hashtags. So you can look up hashtag peonies. You can look up hashtag roses, all these hashtags, and you'll see that florists from around the world, artists, tattoo artists, all of these people will put different pictures with peonies in them, which is really cool, which is why I love Instagram. So you can see the flower that you like and you can start studying it and making simple shapes from it. I like it when the peonies are in a ball, like they're more of a ball. I haven't really done much with them as they are opening, but if you see them here in a ball, see that? I don't know, it's kind of bright. But I've figured out how to make the simple, messy, sketchy shape of the peony. So let's try a different one. Let's try hydrangea. That's another one that I love. Okay, so here's hydrangeas. So there's a picture of hydrangeas, and you can kind of see that it's like a kind of a poof ball. This is the one I did last time. It's kind of a poofy. Just poofy. I just like, again, the idea of it. If you were to follow with the pencil the outline of this, it would look like a little squiggly poof ball. And then if you got closer, the petals would look like this. So it's just simplifying those things. Because again, I'm not a realism person, and I don't even pretend to be, but I do enjoy drawing flowers, and I like drawing them like how I like them. So like a hydrangea, you know, here. And you have your that would be good enough for me, honestly. I really don't. Or even if you did this number where you're just kind of making the groups of flowers, you know, that would actually even be more detailed. And then doing a little dot in between. So there you go. The idea of a hydrangea. And that would be fine for me. So again, with the peonies, it's a simple circle shape. There's an opening at one side usually, and then there's petals that are kind of holding that shape together. So that is seriously like how I draw my peonies. And it's going to take time, y'all, for you to figure out what it is that brings you joy, what flowers that you like to draw, but really use Instagram as a source of inspiration, because it's not like, you know, even if you were to like say you were to copy, you know, this exact picture. It's your art. It's not like you're ripping off that picture and, you know, screenshotting it and using it somewhere else. It's just inspiration for your art. I feel totally okay with doing that. One of my favorite florists, this is ANTHOUSAI. She is a florist based out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. So John Rush, you might actually know her or be able to visit her shop, but she has the most beautiful pictures of her floral arrangements. And I am inspired by her greatly. And I asked her, I was like, can I share your feed with my following? She's like, absolutely. I just love going to her. Like, look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And you know how I am. I love it when I don't have a vase where it's just kind of like cascading in the air. That's like my favorite. So anywho, with these flowers, just find the idea of a shape. So like here's this leaf right here down. I don't know if you can see this leaf right here. Just really quickly, like that's what I would do. It's so messy. It's so wonderful. Here's another little leafy thing looking thing right here. That would be, again, it's not exact. It's abstract. It's a representation. And that to me makes me so happy. There are some other little things, like this was in a floral arrangement. I can't even remember which picture it was because it was in the last video, but it was literally like a ball with this, and there was a bunch of them clustered. I did that in this painting right here, but we'll find another one. And here's this, kind of looks like a ranunculus. I don't know how to say that flower either, but just find, again, some simple shapes. These are some fun little leaves that you can do. These are some dangly things. Like, you're just going to have to do it over and over and over again and figure out what you like. So I'm going to show you some stuff that I like. I encourage you to get on Instagram and find the stuff that you like. You might get really inspired by this, but you might, you know, want to explore with different flowers and stuff. So without further ado, let's begin. So this is just some Canson watercolor paper, 9x12. And you can find some really simple like frames for 9x12s. Watch, I'll need this later and then I'll lose it. I use a super wet brush because I like my controlled plops. Like, you know how we plop? We like to plop on our journal pages and stuff. I basically do like controlled plops. And I have a video with Jen that I kind of taught her how to do this, but this one's way more detailed. So it is kind of a duplicated video a little bit, but again, this is way more detailed. I'm going to do a different color. Okay, so I'm going to use Rachel Beth's Teal Sprinkles, and because I want those simple, the star flower is going to be my peonies, and we all know I've never seen a teal peony in my life, but I want to try it. This is where you can get creative with your stuff. So I'm just going to kind of come in here and do a control plot. Splatters are good. We want splatters. Like, I love splattering on purpose. I think this is too bright now. Hold on. Let me turn it down. That's better. So I'm going to just get this teal color. And because it's the idea of flower, I'm just going to kind of do that. You want some spots of white to show through because those are going to tell you later, oh, that can be a highlight for the flower. So we'll do that one. And we can do this one over here. Splatter where you want, and then I'm going to do a different color, Japanese maple color right here. I'm trying not to control it too much. I'm okay if it gets into the other color. In fact, I'm going to purposely do that. See how things like go, kind of like that video I did with playing with watercolor. It really is about the process and how you're feeling in that process. Do you feel free? Do you feel constricted? Those are my stars, are those blue and purple peonies, which I've never seen a blue peony before, but That's okay. And then I'm going to have a coral little supporting roll flower. I'll do one over here. Notice how I'm not really fussing with it much. I'm just kind of plopping some stuff down. I do love this color for my what am I trying to say? Splatters. I do need some paper towels though. Let's see here. I'm kind of a paper towel hoarder. Like I took these from Jen's house because they were still good. Isn't that crazy? So I just love it when things run into each other. I love that. And then just for fun, I'm going to add in some of this copper color just to like plop it in. So just playing controlled plops. We're going to make this all make sense in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding a little bit of foliage. So some leaves. This is like our third element here. So again, I just go right over some of this other stuff. I don't care if it blends. You do kind of have to think ahead. Like, is it going to make a muddy color? This is one of my favorite colors from Rachel. It's called flannel, green flannel, I think. I love that. And then this one's called dried herbs, which is another great green from her. And sometimes I even like to just mix something as a surprise in there. There's this like turquoise color from Jasper Stardust. Whoops, there it goes. And just kind of like drop it in there as a fun little, just again, playing around. I don't know what this little thing is. What's that? Get that off. There we go. Then I want to add some dangly things. Use this color. It's called Aspen. Actually, golden wheat. I'll use golden wheat. So this I'm going to add here. Just kind of, they're going to be spraying off. Let me go back here so y'all can see. Kind of like hanging off the floral. Excuse me, sorry. I'm trying to resist getting like this like weird throat thing. So just kind of like hanging off, doing its own thing. Dangling bits. Then I'm going to go to a smaller brush, and one thing that I really enjoy about certain floral arrangements that I gravitate to over and over are these like natural elements in the beautiful floral arrangements, like a stick, like sticking out. That's something I really enjoy. This little knifey looking brush is really fun for watercolor, for like leaves and sharp edges and stuff. I really like it. I just started playing with it. Well, not just started, but I like it a lot. German, I think the color is German green raw umber is one of my favorite neutrals to use in my florals. And I'll just like kind of like stick it out there just like that, just a stick. Simple, simple. And then I will put some more dangly bits down. Going to use some serpentine, which is one of my favorite greens, and just kind of use this brush for my advantage. So I'm just pulling it down that knife, you know, like that. So I'm going to do it slowly for you. So take it and pull it. It's kind of back and forth. You can do filler stuff. When you're twisting it, it makes a cool, you know, just play around with the different tools that you have. I got this and really liked it. See, that's almost a sorry about my throat. That's almost a little too rigid for me, actually, but I'll keep it in there. So this will be, I think we need to have a little bit more. Let's see, let's do some like gold splatters here. I think that's good. It's getting darker, y'all. So I'm going to speed this up and dry this and then move on to my next steps. Normally for my florals, I do let them dry naturally, but for the sake of time, since I'm losing light, I just went ahead and heat blasted this. Some of these colors are chalky, so, and I know I might swipe something down, but it's just what I have to do. But I can't stand the feeling of chalk or grit or anything like that, so I have to wipe all that off. And now it feels better. I just can't stand it. When it's completely dry, you can wipe it off normally. So now what I want to do is incorporate what we were talking about. First, let me show you how look at that prettiness right there. It's awesome. I'm going to go in with a hard lead and let me just make sure. So I've talked about the differences between hard lead and soft lead before. Hard leads are going to give you a thinner line. Soft leads are easy to break, so that's definitely soft. And they will give you a thicker line. I'm pretty sure this is so these are softer leads. You can see there's a bolder line, and this is a hard lead. There's a lighter line. So I'm going to go in with a hard lead because we're going to go from thin to thick on our lines, okay? And I'm just going to outline some of these things really messy. Okay, I am not trying to be rigid. In fact, sometimes I'll even loosen my grip on my pencil just so on purpose I cannot think about it, and I do that. So go around the edges and you'll start to see where things kind of look like a flower shape. It's kind of like when you look at clouds and you're like, oh, that looks like a turtle, or this looks like this. So here's my idea of my peony, right? Remember the ball shape? So I'm just kind of messily go around it. Here's the opening. And I'm just going to kind of go here. Real messy like. So that's that. So that's that one. Now notice it's not a complete circle, but because I've done so many of those circles, I know what I want to see. And I know exactly what, oh my gosh, that ice cream truck has been driving me bananas. I know what I want to see. I know how I want it to kind of look. So like this. I'm going to go back over these with softer lead, but this is the hard lead, so it's thinner lines. Just again, following the edges of each of my controlled plops and kind of like making it a flower that I feel like it would be. And you got to be super careful because you can go through that paper. With that hard lead. I'm attaching these little dangly things with just some loose lines. Just kind of making these little shapes like I showed you in my journal. These are all things that I've done repetitively before, and now I'm just putting them all together. So again, that other shape that I did. Okay, there. So that's the hard lead. I'm going to go in now with the softer lead to kind of darken up some of these lines. I learned this. Oh, it's so soft. It's got to be so careful. I learned this from Danielle Donaldson at Interest with varying line widths. I do that in my own messy way. Hers is a lot more structured, but I do it in my own messy way by going around some portions of the flower and not others. And this is so therapeutic for me to just follow the lines and figure out which ones I want to do. Notice nothing is super structured or rigid. It's just kind of every once in a while following what you want, figuring out, just kind of very intuitively going around and figuring out which ones that you want to make thicker. I don't go around the whole thing. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating with that soft lead. The other thing I do with the soft lead is I go and I make these little doodly looking flowers. I do like the joining of like a doodly kind of a look and this like sketchy abstract kind of a look. I do like that. I'm going to go in actually with some filler paint even with this like green flannel color and just kind of very carefully add some stuff around here. I might even surprise people and be like, ooh, let's go in with some of this cobalt. I'm starting to love this color blue. I normally don't love this color blue, but man, it's making me so happy right now. Actually, this isn't cobalt. This is like manganese blue hue or something like that. I'm not even sure. But I'm just coming in and like, I sound like such a like typical, I'm just going to come in and blah, blah. Add some of this color. I don't know. I really like it. That's new. I really haven't done that much, but that's just something new I just tried. Because, you know, I always have to try something new when I do a video. All right. So I do want to take this. This is a Sketch and Wash pencil. It is a favorite of mine, if I can find it. Oh, here it is, because I used it just a little while ago. I'm going to add some shadows. You do not need much, and it like activates with water. So I'm doing a little line right here, and it just kind of adds a shadow. Right there. And you can take some of that dark gray color and kind of move it around. So this is a General's Sketch and Wash, one of my favorites. I use it a lot for faces as well. Notice I'm using my left hand for those lines, like trying to relinquish control. It's funny how like I'm okay to relinquish control on my lines, but with editing, I'm just like freaking out. I just love it. Just having fun really is the main thing. You really do want to feel the fun that you had in your art. I really do believe that your feelings of when you're creating something is imparted to the viewer. That's a huge thing that I feel happens. Got that. And then we want to go even thicker, or I want to go even thicker with some chunky charcoal, which this is a peel and sketch charcoal, also by General, and kind of add some more messy leaves here and there. Outlining different things, just again, intuitively. And even like putting a little bit of this going on. This is also able to be activated, this charcoal, just a little bit, not too much, but just a little bit. There. And then, oops, I just made a loud noise. Sorry. Two ceramic things hitting each other. So then I want to get this kind of all dry because I'm going to go in with colored pencil and do some more messy lines. Oh, and I forgot to say too, with this soft, I also like to kind of like put some messy lines throughout. And people are like, Jennifer, when I was filming this, is like, you just ruined your pen. No, I didn't. I like it. I'm going to take some different pencils and just really messy. Again, this is where I'm holding my pen, or not my pen, but my pencil so loose because I want it to be sketchy and craziness going on here. That's the point. Like, and then I'm using colors that are complementary. So like on this flower that was mainly blue, like that teal color, I used that purple that's kind of over here. And then this is like a teal color. So I'm using this kind of bluish color, which I should have probably used this color, but that's okay. And going in and kind of outlining things, making things messy, scribbling lightly around the picture. Yellow is one of my favorite ones to do around the floral arrangement. Look at this. I'm not even like, seriously, I kid you not. That's what I love to do. And then I have this really awesome color. I think it's like, what is this, lime peel? And I go in and I'll make different leafy looking things with just this. There's a dog out there pooping in the yard. Now you can overdo it. There is a point of no return and you'll learn where that is for you. I'm getting close to this point. I think I'm going to be done with this point right here. So you'll learn, over time, as you keep doing this, like over and over again. If it brings you joy, just keep doing it. You'll learn, like, okay, I can't go much further. This is just like a wax crayon that I like to put sometimes, just again to add different things, different layers. I love, again, the look of texture, but I don't like the feel of texture. So all of my stuff is pretty easy on my hands in that respect. And then the last step I like to do is I take this stuff right here. This is a titanium white high flow acrylic. And I put it on my splatter brush. I used to use the Tim Holtz white distress paint stuff, but it had a sticky feel to it and I didn't like it. So I've been using this instead and it works so good. So I just do a little bit on, I think there's a little bit of a little boogery thing right here. So I'll just put a little bit of this high flow. That's what I use for my Yupo paper, and I just spray lightly the page. over these flowers. I just love the way that looks. And sometimes I can go in and get it more wet. It was hard probably for you to see that because it's white, but I'll zoom up here so you can see the little sprays. This is the one I did last time, and this is the one I did this time. They do look similar, but they still have their own little things that they have about them. I really like the way they both turned out. I love the blue. And what I do, the difference is this, I have a little signature thing. You know, this means something to me. These little water drop things, it's very symbolic. This crowns on the little owl's heads or face heads is very symbolic to me. Again, I feel like you impart a lot to people through your art. And so I want to impart peace to people, refreshment to people. So like that's very symbolic to me. And the crowns is worth. So you'll find something that you'll be able to add to your little personality traits here and there that you can keep adding to your stuff. I do love bling too. I don't have any bling on this, but I just seriously have taken some of the foil from the watercolors and then just like stuck it on here. That's a real easy way to do it. You could also do it with gold leaf, but honestly, I've done both and it's just really easy to just take some of that glitter glue and take some foil and just add in some little blingy pieces on your painting if you wanted to do that. I'm doing a video called 5 Ways to Bling, and that will be on YouTube, so y'all will have early access. I'm gonna have a way slowed down version of this later with different exercises to help guide you to see what kind of like flowers that you like, what kind of shapes that you like. I think one of my gifts is helping other people figure out what makes them super happy. What is this? This is like a booger. Oh man, well, there's that one. That's going to be right there. A guide to discovery. I feel like that's kind of what Plan Your Piece was for a lot of people, is discovering how to best plan for yourself. And I like doing that in art too. I really do. See how simple this is? Just kind of like a collage element. I could do like my little things up here. I'm going to time lapse this part. With those extra bits, they will not come off with that glue, I promise. They are there for life. I mean, I guess if you really try to pry them apart, but that would ruin the whole thing. I like it. I really like this one a lot. I'm finding my style. I'm finding what works for me. And that's what I want y'all to be able to do. There, done. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope it was fun. I hope you're able to follow along. I will see y'all later. Bye.